we've seen a series of events where these Democrats go on the Sunday shows, which are usually friendly to the Dems, and refuse to say Kamala Harris is the best choice for his VP, for his running mate, et cetera. Pick your form of that question. And they don't want to say it. You know, Nancy Pelosi didn't want to say it. Jamie Raskin didn't want to say it. And the latest is James Clyburn, who basically got Joe Biden the nomination last time around. He was flailing. He's from South Carolina, and he helped get Joe Biden the nomination. Joe Biden had to promise he was going to have a female Black running mate. That wound up being Kamala Harris. He gets asked about Kamala Harris on the Sunday shows about whether she's the best choice and did not stick the landing. Watch.
I see her as a part of that future. Absolutely.
Is she the future, though?
Oh, she could very well be. And I look to her as a successor to this president. But I also know the history of that as well. It's not a given. She'll have to compete going forward with whoever may have dreams and aspirations, and I think she will acquit herself well.
Why do you think she's not resonating more with voters? What do you think the issue is?
Because when you compare the first woman of color and first woman to be vice president of the United States, and compare that to all of the history before, you will get that.
Okay. She's not doing better because we're racist and we're sexist.
Yes, yeah.
Even though,
right.
if you look at the NBC poll, which Kristen Welker was asking him about, it shows that actually the people who are least enthusiastic about voting for Biden-Harris are Blacks and Latinos. They're the least enthusiastic. So I guess they're also racist against Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I mean, then how did Obama win? I mean, if America is such a racist country and you had the first Black, person running for the presidency, no, people don't like Kamala Harris because she's a terrible person and she's an awful politician. She's not even good at it. The cackling thing, she has not been able to get that out of her kind of standard operating procedure. And she says the goofiest, weirdest stuff. I always joke around that if they replace Joe Biden and we get to run against Kamala Harris, I mean, it's an even more unpopular version of Hillary Clinton. I mean, at least Hillary Clinton had some sort of ability to raise a ton of money and make her political opponents just vanish and disappear. I mean, Kamala Harris has none of that. I mean, she just got appointed because she's an affirmative action pick. Let's just call it exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Clyburn said that we need somebody. Yeah, we need somebody in this criteria. And look, affirmative action is destroying America. It's destroying America in college campuses. Thankfully, the Supreme Court overturned it, but campuses are finding ways around it. And then you get Kamala Harris, and she was appointed and tasked with one of the greatest liabilities for the Biden regime, and that is the border. If she were to run, I'm telling you, especially in the swing state of Arizona, she will just get steamrolled on this issue. This is an issue. If you talk about an issue where 60 to 70% of Americans are upset about it and it's not going to change, and where the Biden regime refuses to do anything because their vision is to open the borders to the entire third world, it is the border. And it was Kamala Harris who was tasked with overseeing the entire thing. And so, look, the Democrats, they don't know who to choose next. And hilariously, we were always told Democrats have a great bench. We have a great bench. We have Gavin Newsom. We have the Castro brothers. We have Gretchen Whitmer. And what are they going to bring next? J.B. Pritzker? I mean, like that, at this point, it's who else are they going to try to put into
Menendez?
this? Why not? I mean,
since indictments tend to help, their calculation could be, we've got an indicted
right.
guy.
If indictments boost you in the polls, then Menendez is the guy.
So listen to this. Here's Joe Biden obviously seeing the lack of enthusiasm with minority groups, which tends to be the Democrats' bread and butter. They need Black voters to turn out for Joe Biden, and they need those numbers that we just went over with Hispanics to reverse themselves ASAP. So Joe Biden goes and he addresses the Hispanic caucus, and he gets them confused. Now imagine if Donald Trump confused the Hispanics for the Blacks, which is what happened. Listen to SOT 1.
My dad used to say, everyone is entitled to be treated with dignity and respect. The Congressional Black Caucus embodies all those values.
Except you're talking to the Hispanic caucus.
Yeah.
Okay.
But But look, white liberal Democrats view them as all the same, which is just obedient minority voters that keep us in power. And what's the big difference? I mean, look, and let's just understand, why are Hispanics starting to go more to the right? And I think it's the trans issue, Megyn. I think of all the issues that the faith, family, freedom base of Hispanic America find repulsive, it's this idea that men can give birth. Spending time in Hispanic communities. I grew up in one. I grew up in a high school that was 53% English as a second language. There is this kind of preservation of traditional gender roles, of that there, and even beyond that, there is that we're going to have strong men and we are going to have strong women. And like this kind of machismo undercurrent in Hispanic culture. This idea that men can give birth, you have someone that comes from Honduras legally or from Mexico that's been here for 2 generations, they think that's insane. And someone from the Upper West Side, you know, those friends that you mentioned, that are trying to almost imperialize these values and colonize these communities, they don't want anything to do with it. Secondly, Hispanics, they want a border. I know this is kind of a crazy thing that Joe Biden and white liberals don't understand, because they don't want a border while they live in gated communities. But you know who is seeing an uptick in crime? Carjackings, rape, arson, murder, strain on social services is legal working class Hispanics in the West Valley of Phoenix, in Glendale, is working class Hispanics in Harris County, in Houston, and not to mention the late term abortion stuff they don't like at all. And so you put all this together, white liberalism is at odds with traditional Hispanic values. And you're starting to see that manifest in the polls. It could be, Megyn, it could be that Donald Trump wins the Hispanic vote in 2024. If that happens, you will see a political realignment that could put the Democrat Party into the minority for generations to come.
Well, and they tend to be Catholics like me. We don't believe in any of that stuff. The other issue with Joe Biden that, I'm sorry, but again, imagine if this were Donald Trump. Imagine if this were Donald Trump. He was addressing the Congressional Black Caucus. Okay, this time he actually was in front of the Congressional Black Caucus. Their Phoenix Awards, they're called, on Saturday. And he was trying to make a reference to LL Cool J. 2 gaffes in here. See if our listening audience can hear both of them.
And 2 of the great artists of our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LL Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's spent.
Oh my God, I'm cringing. I'm dying. He called him boy. He called a black man boy. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last. He's done it repeatedly. I could play you all. In fact, we should get a budded soundbite together, you guys. We'll play it tomorrow, of all the number of times that Joe Biden has done this. And then, of course, doesn't even know who LL J Cool. Okay. What do you make of it?
I just think that we should just play the corn pop tape on repeat, where Joe Biden, you know, just goes over this whole thing when he was young, and there was this guy Corn Pop. But by the way, what is it with this just nonstop Joe Biden yelling at the sky? There is no kind of change in his decibel level. It's just full out. And then there was a guy, cool LJLL, boy. And it's just there is no nuance here, and there's no volume control. And I'm going to say something like really mean, but like, when I'm around people in their 80s or 90s and they've lost like their sense of anything around them, like it's just full like blast of like noise is what it is. It's just projection of noise. And look, we can make fun of it, but yeah, this guy is in charge of the nuclear football. He's in charge of our border. And yeah, I just like, is there an indoor voice you could use, Joe Biden? Like a little bit? Like
he's got the whisper.
You have a microphone
every once in a while. But then you're so Ricky, like, the mere fact that he continues to refer to black people as boy, black men, grown, accomplished, billionaire, millionaire, black men as boy, that boy, my God. It's showing like he's of a certain age and they know it. And then they're like, why isn't there black enthusiasm? Maybe it's because this huge pattern. Just for a moment, let's push the politics and all the crazy news these days to the side and talk about dogs. Seriously, Delta Rescue. You may have heard of them. They're an organization that has dedicated their mission to providing lifelong care to rescued animals from the wilderness, dogs, cats, horses too. This can be something everyone agrees on. Delta Rescue providing for and protecting the animals we love the most. As humans, our relationship with dogs goes back a long way, horses too. And dogs have been our hunting guides, protectors, and sweet companions. They're part of the family. If all this makes sense to you and you love dogs and animals, check out Delta Rescue and consider making a gift. Delta Rescue relies solely on the contributions of people like all of us to provide care for life for their 1,500 plus animals. You can call them and ask questions and learn more about their super sanctuary, and know that every gift counts no matter how small. It all counts. Please go to deltarescue.org today. That's deltarescue.org. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.